Have you ever wondered why some projects just click and they succeed brilliantly, while others seem to crash and burn no matter what? Well, today, we're going to demystify project management. We're skipping all the dense jargon and heavy textbooks to get right to the heart of it. The 12 core principles from the famous PMBOK guide that can make literally any project a success. Let's jump in.
So let's start with the big question, the one we've all asked at some point. Why do so many projects fail? I mean, think about a simple home renovation. You start out with this perfect vision, you've got a budget, you've got a timeline, and then somehow it all just goes completely off the rails. It happens everywhere. Construction, tech, you name it. So what is the common thread?
You know, the secret isn't buried in some complicated 1,000-page rulebook. It's actually about a fundamental shift in how you think. That guide we mentioned, the PMBOK, it lays out these 12 core principles. And you should think of them less like rigid rules and more like, well, the building blocks for a successful project management mindset.
Okay, to make this super easy to digest, we've grouped all 12 principles into 3 main themes. And we're going to start with the most critical part of any project, period, the people. Let's dive into what it really takes to lead them effectively. So these first 4 principles are all about human interaction. We're going to talk about being a responsible steward, what that means, building a truly collaborative team, not just a group of people, engaging with everyone who has a stake in the project, and showing leadership, no matter what your job title is. The first principle is all about responsibility. Being a good steward, that just means acting with integrity and genuine care. You're not just managing a budget or some materials, you're actually safeguarding a client's investment. You're thinking about the community, you're respecting the environment. At its heart, it's about one thing, being trustworthy. Next up, collaboration. Look, a project team is so much more than just a list of names on a chart. The real goal here is to build an environment where ideas can flow freely and people actually work together, not just side by side. It's about creating a culture where the whole team is way more powerful than just its individual members. This one really broadens our idea of who a stakeholder even is, because it's not just the client who's paying the bills. It's the team doing the work, it's the suppliers bringing the materials, it's even the local community that's affected by what you're doing. The key here is to proactively engage with all of them, to listen, and to build a real consensus. And that brings us to such a crucial point. Leadership is a behavior. It's not a title on a business card. Anyone on the team can, and really should, step up and show leadership. That means motivating people, influencing, guiding others toward the goal. It's all about taking that initiative to help the project win.
All right, on to our second theme. We've talked about the who, so now let's get into the what and the how. This section is all about building a plan for success that's both intelligent and, really importantly, adaptable. So here, we'll dig into 4 more principles. Keeping our eyes laser-focused on the real value of the project, understanding how everything connects, building quality in from day one, and, this is a big one, tailoring our approach to fit the unique needs of the project. A project isn't a success just because it got done on time and on budget. Real success is measured by the value it delivers. Is it hitting the business objectives? Is it giving the benefits we planned for? This principle makes us constantly ask ourselves, is what we're doing right this second actually contributing to the ultimate goal? Projects don't exist in a bubble, right? This principle is all about seeing that big picture. A project is a system of interconnected parts, and that system lives inside even bigger systems, the company, the industry, the market. When you understand how all those pieces interact, you can make way smarter decisions. Now here's a really powerful idea. Quality isn't something you check for at the very end. It's something you have to build into every single step of the process. From the first sketch to the final coat of paint, this is about embedding quality into the way you work, making sure the result doesn't just meet expectations, but blows them away. And that leads us to a word you have to know, tailoring. There is simply no one-size-fits-all plan for projects. I mean, a small software update needs a totally different approach than building a skyscraper, right? Tailoring just means you deliberately adapt your methods to get the most value for the specific job you're doing. All right, for our final theme, let's just get real for a second. No project in the history of the world has ever gone exactly according to plan. Not one. So this section is all about how you master the inevitable chaos, the uncertainties, the changes, the curveballs that are a part of every single project. So our last 4 principles are all about navigating complexity, getting smarter about how we respond to risk, embracing our ability to adapt when things go wrong, and maybe the most important one, enabling change instead of fighting it tooth and nail.
Complexity can pop up from anywhere. Unpredictable human behavior, tangled up supply chains, you name it. This principle isn't about trying to avoid complexity. That's just impossible. It's about actively navigating it. It means you stay vigilant, you spot those complex moving parts early, and you adapt your strategy to handle them.
Okay, this one is a total game changer. Most of us, when we hear the word risk, we only think about what can go wrong. But this principle reframes the whole idea. See, risk is a two-sided coin. Of course, we want to reduce our exposure to threats, the negative stuff. But we also want to be actively hunting for and maximizing the positive risks, the opportunities. A truly great project team plays both offense and defense. So what happens when one of those risks actually becomes reality? You adapt. Adaptability and resiliency are all about your team's ability to take a punch and recover. The goal isn't to never get knocked down. It's about being able to get right back up, pivot fast, and keep moving forward with purpose.
And finally, the last principle. Change isn't the enemy of your project. In a way, change is the project. This encourages us to stop seeing change as some disruption to our perfect plan, and instead see it as the very process that moves us from where we are today to that amazing future state we're trying to build. Our job is to guide that journey.
So there you have it, all 12 principles. But the real magic isn't just knowing the list. It's understanding that these things are all deeply interconnected. They work together as a system that guides our behavior and our decision-making every single day on the job. And as you can see here, these 12 principles are the bedrock. They're the foundation. They guide how we behave, and that in turn influences every single thing we do on the project, from how we lead the team to how we build the plan and deal with uncertainty. It all flows from this principled foundation. If you take just one single thing away from this explainer today, please let it be this. This is not about memorizing a list for some test. It is about adopting a mindset, a fundamentally different way of thinking about how you approach your work, lead your people, and ultimately deliver real lasting value.
So, I'll leave you with a question to think about. On your next project, whether it's for Alpha Constructions or just something at home, which one of these principles are you going to consciously choose to focus on first? Thanks for joining us.